Well, when you're asking me about social interactions, then a few things come to my mind. In society, people are in pursuit of dominance or wanting power over other people. Either they pursue power, or there's a category of people who pursue wealth. They want to create much more resources than what they need, and therefore they pursue wealth. And a third category of people who does not pursue wanting power or does not pursue creating a wealth, they pursue something to do with their desires, manifesting desires, indulging in privileges, indulging in comforts, which is not amounting to wanting to rule over other people or dominate other people, and neither is it amounting to creating a lot of resources or wealth, but just satisfying desires. So these are the three main categories. The imbalance happens when the pursuit becomes an obsession. So if these things are in their level of pursuit, there is a balance, there is harmony in society. But if any category starts becoming obsessed with either wanting to dominate other people or wanting to create more resources at the cost of other people, or even to satisfy their desires, indulge in it more than what one can handle, and that's when the imbalances begin. So we must study these three categories in the context of how the mind works. One classification could be as follows: equity, individuality, uniqueness, exclusivity on one hand. On the other hand, there could be wanting to uniformize things, wanting to standardize things. And on a third hand, on a third category, it could be a collective opinions or amounting to consensus. So how do we come to a verdict that is suitable in such a way that it includes the sensitivity to the need of equity, to retain the uniqueness, and also the variety? The uniqueness and the variety is the beauty in creation, in social interaction. There has to be variety, there has to be uniqueness. But if you make everything standardized and eliminate variety, and if we attempt to make everything look uniform and eliminate uniqueness, then there is bound to be disharmony, because variety is the beauty. It could surface in non-favorable expressions, but then variety adds beauty. So we need to retain variety, we need to retain the uniqueness, respect the uniqueness of people and their attitudes, because they're unique, and then allow equity for everybody on one hand. On the other hand, we must consider how to yet standardize, because certain things cannot be left to everybody to decide upon, because we are social beings. We need to communicate socially, we need to live socially. In such case, we need to come together and compromise on certain personal comforts and allow the social growth, social evolution to happen. So in that context, we need to standardize and we need to make collective decisions. Now this must come through a democratic process or some sort of consensus development. Certain things, it could be a wise man giving a suggestion or an advice, or a leader in leadership who is an elected leader giving a decree. So either a wise man giving a suggestion and advice which is followed by the people, or a leader giving a verdict, or a democratic process of evolving a consensus. These possibilities allow a social evolution and coming together of people to live together. One dimension that must be considered is a spiritual dimension. So, most of the conflicts that arise out of confrontations, or that arises out of competition, needs a spiritual, a dab of a whiff of spiritual understanding to bring inferences, to bring conclusions, to bring potentially conflicting situation to a closure harmoniously. Because the spirituality has the sensibility on one hand, and also the sensitivity to the emotional attributes, to the other requirements which may not be evident in a court of law and order, or in a court of disciplinarians, or in a court of lawmakers. So the spiritual court, if you may call that, is very essential, because that is based on faith. Now, another conflict could be when the court, a public court founded on lawmakers and law and order and a rule book, starts controlling the faith. Because the faith and spirituality must be different, or above, or beyond understanding, in the realm of understanding and punishments, or understanding and implementation of the rule book. Because the faith court, the court or spiritual court, should consider how to reform than to punish. So reformation and training will become the attribute of a spiritual court, whereas implementing the decisions, the law and order of a rule book will become the mandate of a public court. So in social living, we have to consider these attributes of the equity, the personality, the individuality, the variety and the uniqueness in category 1. In category 2, the collective ideas, social grooming, social evolution, and common understandings, the common requirements, and how to build consensus, how to come to decisions through consensus, through discussions, through debates. And the third category will be which process to evolve, whether democratic, or whether a leadership, or whether a spiritual advice. And another dimension would be, another paradigm would be a spiritual court, or a spiritual relationship, a connectivity where reformation and training is the foundation, because the spiritual dimension can include sensibility and sensitivity to the depth of human existence. Again, the people, they pursue power, or they pursue wealth, or they pursue satisfaction of desires. Sometimes the pursuit of power can merge a little with the pursuit of wealth or desire, or the pursuit of desire can be laced within it with some need for power and wealth. So all these have some kind of overlaps and mergers. But if there's an imbalance, if the pursuit of power becomes an obsession, then the political realm, the politics is all about need to set rules, need to regulate the thought process, the behavioral patterns of people. So this is all about politics. So when the political realm becomes impure, that is when there is another dimension of satisfying other areas of human requirements through using politics as a tool, then it will collapse. And similarly, if pursuit is to create wealth, and if in case there is a dab of satisfying desires and wanting control over things, such as desires and politics, into the main focus of creating wealth, then again an imbalance will begin there, and it becomes fermented, and it needs cleansing, and the industry can collapse because conflicts will arise, trade unions will begin, and the discomfort, the dilemma will be to diffuse protests and how to neutralize conflicts and confrontations in the industry. So this happens because the main focus of creating wealth shifts into wanting control or satisfying other desires, or the third realm is to want to satisfy desires, but using that as a tool if one wants to dominate, or if one wants to amass wealth in the garb of satisfying desires, then again impurities come there, that dimension will become fermented, and there also disharmonies and diseases begin there. So it's very important to maintain a balance through understanding of social interaction in the three dimensions of satisfying desires, pursuit of wealth, and pursuit of power.